Welcome back to our last episode in Leather and Lace and Amazing Grace in our quilt. As you can see, I have gotten my quilt back from the long armor, who happens to be Erica Crock. So just in case you need someone to quilt a project for you, she is available. And I have put my binding on the edge, and I have one corner left that I am going to show you my technique for doing it. You have a technique that works for you, then you go ahead and use that technique. But this is the one that has worked for me, and so I'm going to show you. So we are going to finish sewing 1/4 inch from the edge. We're going to the corner. That was not, okay. When I get down to the corner, I use, this is a favorite ruler of mine, it's called the Stitcher's Friend. And I lay it on the edge, my point to the corner. I get a pencil, or you can use a friction pen, and I make my diagonal line, my 45-degree. And so I'm going to carefully sew down to that corner. You do not want to go over it, so stop and then reverse. And cut your thread. Okay, so I did not stitch all the way to the line because it would go over, and I don't want it to do that. Sometimes you'll hit it exactly, sometimes you have to be a little ways away. Then you'll fold it up on your 45-degree angle. Fold it back down with the top being even. Okay, line this up. You want everything to line up and be on the edge. Stick it under with your 1/4 inch out of the fabric on the edge again. I take my fix off because I want to just reverse. A couple stitches. Then we're going to go forward. Okay. When I started putting the binding on, I left a tail before I started so that we can do a mitered join. So you want this much empty, or left unsewn would be the correct term, I guess, on this edge. So we're going to continue going. Further. So I have about this much space overlapped. Now we will reverse and cut. Okay, so this is what I do when I get to the end. I lay it down. Sorry about that. It's not cooperating. We lay it down, and then I did just a little too much, so we're gonna go like this. We're just gonna, because I sewed too close to my other end. And so I lay this as snugly as I can down. And just mark it. And then this side flips over and kind of tug that so that it's snug also. And then I'm going to measure, my binding that I used was 2.5 inches. So that's what I want to cut the last tail off at. So we mark that at 2.5. Okay. And we're going to cut that off. Okay, so this is extra. Now this is the part that's maybe a little bit different for some of you, but I have to have the binding away from me. I can't have it sitting this way. I seem to put things together backwards when I do it that way. So we are going to do it this way. And I take my tail on the right hand side, we're going to open it up, and then this one on the left opens up this way, okay? And these two are going to go together, and we will be sewing from this point to that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tail, I'm going to mark the 2.5, which is right here, and then from this corner we're going to draw our diagonal line, and that's what we're going to sew on. Okay, so don't mind my fingers here. You can use a friction pen or pencil. This is going to be inside, so no one is going to see that. So again, the left hand side opens so that the right side is up, and I said that wrong. The left side opens so that the right side is up, and the right side opens so you see the wrong side. And then you will pin the corners, match your corners. My pins this way. And then down here. Okay, so then we're going to take it to the machine, kind of fold that up so you have some room to get it under the machine. Make sure you got it unfolded. Now that we have it lined up, we can stitch on the diagonal. You just follow your line that you made, and I just run it off the edge and then cut. Pins away, and then kind of pull it to make sure, yeah, we put it together the right way. So then I just take my shears and trim off, get rid of your tails. And then I just finger press this open as flat as you can, and fold it back on itself like it was. And so now we're ready to finish sewing on the binding. So just go back to where you stopped. And away we go. Okay. I do change my stitch length to a 3, just because it helps ease in your fullness in the areas. So we're gonna have, it's gonna be just right, because that's gonna be on the inside, so we're not gonna see that. Okay. So once you have that done, I like to go to the ironing board, and we're gonna press it so that it lays flat, okay? So you do that all the way around, go all the way into the corners, and then after that is pressed, then I'm going to turn it over to where you want it to lay on the top of your quilt, and I will press that again. So then when that is done, you're ready to put the top stitch on to keep this in place. So this will all be nice and pressed, and will turn over and stay like this while you sew. Now I'm going to change my foot that I use. I have this quilt binder foot for the IDF systems. That's your integrated feed dog. And the foot looks like this. It's got plastic so you can see, and it's also got like the little paddle. So that runs along the edge of your binding. And the nice thing about the Epic 2 machine, the 95Q, is that you can position, we're going to change the setting now. We had it in the center. We're going to move the needle all the way to the left. And now when that is against your edge, that little paddle that's down there, put your pressure foot down and then just put your needle down to see where it's going to hit. Now we're just a little too close for my liking. So let's move the needle over. Can you see it moving? I like to put it on, my machine says 3.5 or 3.8. But now you can start sewing. And it goes right along the edge, nice and neat, and your edge is here. So I think you can see it. Let me go a little bit further so you can see it better. Okay, see how nice and straight you get that? And I want to do just one corner for you. So this is the other thing I like to do. I like to get rid of some of this excess that's in the corner. Just make sure you're cutting on the right corner so you don't create a hole. I did that once. That wasn't fun to fix. Okay, let's get to the edge. This is a lot easier to do when you've pressed it and it stays in place for you. But when you get to the corner, you want to fold this bottom piece up first, and then you're going to fold over this way. Make sure you get your point in here, and you're going to have a nice mitered corner so you can sew. And then when you get to the end, go real slow. You get your one stitch in, the needle stays down, and you can pivot. And we'll get the blanket out of the way. Go right down the edge, and so you have your perfect little corner. So you continue all the way around the quilt, and then you will have a beautiful blanket to display on your bed or a couch or for company. So I hope you enjoyed our tutorial, and come down to the store and get your kit. Thank you.